When your casings come out of the vacuum former, they will need to be cut up by the technicians or by a teacher, ready for you to do some trimming and some filing. This is what your casing should look like when it's come out of the technician's room or when it's been cut up by your teacher. And it's these big lumpy bits on top that you need to cut off, being careful not to cut off the horizontal surface that we're going to use to keep the backing card in place and hold all the circuitry in place. I'll say more about that in the next pictures. Here is a close-up of the bit that we have to cut off, bearing in mind that we want to keep this slot that you can see in the foreground ready for the backing card. Here we can see a finished circuit and the backing card sliding in, and you can see these quite clearly. You can see these horizontal surfaces that we must keep in order to keep the backing card in place. Here is another picture, this time without the backing card, where we can clearly see these horizontal surfaces that we've got to keep in order for the backing card to stay in place. Using scissors, trim off the worst of the material and then use a file to file the edges nice and smooth. Use scissors also just to trim off the corners and get the worst of that material off before filing. When you've finished doing your trimming and filing, your corners and edges should look something like this. Nice and clean, nice and smooth, slightly rounded. Here is a picture of a finished casing after trimming and filing. One of the other jobs we have to do is to drill a hole in the casing ready for the switch. Place the circuit inside the casing and locate the switch somewhere near the top. Mark out where the switch should go with a marker pen, or put a little bit of masking tape over the top and use a pencil. Make sure that you've allowed for plenty of clearance for the bottom of the switch once it goes inside the casing. When you've marked out where the switch should go, take the circuit out and then drill out using a 5mm drill on the pillar drill as shown in the picture.